Well, would you looky here what I found while going through some old stuff. Look at that. Look, some of y'all thought I was probably lying, bro. Some of y'all thought, bro, he's lying. He didn't actually play on JP's side, on the GameCube, and on Dreamcast, on Fantasy Star Online. No, he didn't actually do that. Well, here's your freaking proof that I just did. But first, be sure to like, subscribe. It helps out tremendously. Thank you very much. So I was rummaging through some old boxes and some old storage and whatnot, and then these things popped up right here. Now I hadn't seen these things. I forgot that, I forgot what box they were in. I didn't know where they were at. But once they were unveiled, I was like, well, holy smokes, because this thing is in pristine condition. I opened this up and we'll open it up, and it's crazy too because this is when I was a kid. And quite frankly, I took very good care of this. I didn't even fully remove the plastic off of the freaking cover of the game. But for those who are not aware, PSO episode 1 and 2, as seen here, this is the GameCube Japanese version of the game. As you can see, this was released back in the early 2000s, and it came with a broadband adapter which went to your GameCube in order to play the game, right? So as you can see here, the inner contents of the box, as you can see here, the inner contents, this is there goes the box right there. This is the broadband adapter. So as you can see, that pops right there into the back of it. I did want to actually just show the gameplay as well on this, but my GameCube is not turning on. It's not spinning, which means that the optical disc is messed up. So I need to open it back up. I probably need to adjust the laser power and or replace the optical disc. Nothing too crazy. I've done it before. I've taken care of this GameCube because it is a very unique GameCube that I had modified to play JP games. I figure what the hell, let's just grab it. So this is the GameCube right here. As you see this little red button on the back, as you see the broadband is still in here as well. You see the Japanese on it, as you see there. But the little red button on the back, I remember I sent this in to some place. I don't remember who it was or where it was. But pretty much they modified it so that you just press this button and it can change between Japanese and English games. Of course, they're region locked back then. As games aren't really region locked nowadays, but of course that was the standard back in the early 2000s, the mid 2000s. As long as it's been fairly recent that we stopped kind of getting region locked games. But nonetheless, this is the GameCube that I'm referring to, which I need to open up, like I said, because there's something going on with the optical drive. I tried to turn it on and powers up, but the spinny spins don't spins anymore, bruv. So clearly there's something wrong with that. I doubt there's something wrong with the motherboard. That's a pretty rare issue with the GameCube. So, but nonetheless, this is the baby that we are talking about here. And this is the packaging for the game. So look, there's still the plastic on here. I don't know if y'all can see it there. You can, if I like kind of position it. You can see the plastic on there right there. Like this is, I never took it fully off. So so this thing is perfectly shaped, dude. Perfectly freaking shaped. So we'll take it out of its container so y'all can see. Here's the box. It's empty there. There's the back of it, and then here's the actual box. You remember back when games actually came with whole freaking booklets? Don't you miss those days, dude? When games came with whole booklets? How cool is that, right? How freaking cool is that? And so this is the disc itself in pristine condition. I could probably sell this for $2,000. It's definitely not worth that much. I assure y'all, it is not worth that much. And then of course there is the booklet, dude. Like I said, all this is in like pristine condition though. It's actually kind of baffling. I can't show you all the back because there's a serial number and an access key in order to use this Fantasy Star Online episode 1 and 2 game online. So I can't share this with y'all in case I ever want to log back on the game. Obviously I'm joking, but either way I'm not going to share it with y'all. But this is the booklet. This is the booklet right here. You can just kind of just open up to any random page. You can't really see a whole lot there. The light's probably not the best, right? Light's probably not the best. You kind of open up to any random page right there. You kind of see in there. But this is very impressive. This is an error right here, dude. This is a freaking error. But I was honestly surprised that this was in such pristine condition. Like I had no idea where it was at. I also have one of these babies, but I don't know exactly where it's at. Whenever I do find it, I will update y'all with this. It's somewhere riddled in boxes somewhere, but I guarantee you it's in perfectly fine condition. Once I find it, I will let y'all know. I'll probably make another video on it. This is the legendary, for those who are wondering what the hell this is the legendary keyboard controller that was only released in Japan. And so I got that whenever I got Fantasy Star Online episode 1 and 2. And so that way you can play the game and you can type on the keyboard. This is exactly, it's a keyboard controller. So once you see it, and when I find it and I show it to y'all, y'all will be like, wow, dude, this thing is freaking humongous. It's very big. It's like, maybe like, here, let me take that off the screen. It's probably about 12 inches. Maybe a bit bigger than 12 inches. But you eventually get used to it, especially like as a kid, I got used to it. And so, I would bring it over to, the friend's house or whatever, we'd be playing some other games or something like that. And then, maybe we're playing Naruto, right? Because also remember, we do have all of these. Remember, these are all JP as well. So these are all the Gekiso Taizens for the Naruto games. And there's the other one over here. So there's a lot of times we'd be playing those as kids on the JP GameCube. And, I bring over controllers or they have, everyone has their own controllers and stuff. But sometimes we're running short, right? If there's 4 of us and we only have 3 controllers, so 3 main controllers, but I have the keyboard controller too. So it's like, okay, well, we'll use the keyboard controller. Eventually, everyone kind of just got used to it and it feels normal. But the keyboard controller is pretty hilarious and it's pretty fun. And like I said, once I find it, I'll probably make another video or I'll at least post it, like holding it, so y'all can see it, like compared to something, so y'all can see just how big it is in comparison to like my size and whatnot. So I think it would be pretty funny. But nonetheless, I thought this was pretty freaking neat to show. So I thought that I would show these babies here for y'all, so y'all can see the perfectness of PSO episode 1 and 2. I've always mentioned, I'm always telling people, yeah, I import it. PSO episode 1 and 2, I import PSO version 2 on the Dreamcast, which is somewhere. I wanted to say I knew where that was at, but I looked and where I thought it was at, and it wasn't there. So it'll pop up at some point. It's probably with that GameCube controller keyboard. It probably is, more than likely. It's like they're all somewhere together. But nonetheless, I thought this would be pretty neat to show. I thought it'd be pretty fun to show because, so I think that I think people lie so much on the internet, right? So I don't blame someone for thinking, oh, he always says that he's played PSO, he played on JP, he imported JP on the Dreamcast, on the GameCube. No, he didn't. He's not telling the freaking truth. Nah, bro, I ain't lying, bro. What do I gotta lie for? All right, so what the hell do I gotta lie for, bro? No, I'm being dead serious with y'all. And as I can see right here, that's proof right there. Proof is in the pudding. So I thought this was pretty neat to show, and just wanted to kind of just show these old relics for y'all, so y'all can see it. But nonetheless, that's about that. This video didn't probably make too much sense to y'all, I guess, unless you're a PSO fan or maybe saw the Naruto games and that make you a fan too. You get a fun fact, it's like, dude, all these Naruto games that we have right here that came out in JP, all these freaking games, dude, came out before the first game came out in the West. Because you gotta remember, Naruto took like 3 years or something like that to even first start airing in the West. So like by the time Shippuden was starting, Naruto had pretty much like just started in the West, bro. Like, that's a long series too, dude. So so they had the time to release 4 GameCube games before the first game came out in the West, which is actually on the Wii. There was actually not any GameCube games that released in the West. It was only those 4 that released in Japan on the GameCube. The first Naruto game that was released in the West was on the Wii. Fun fact. But at any rate, we're not talking about that. We're talking about this. But I thought this would be pretty neat to show y'all, so here it is. Nonetheless, y'all, be sure to like, subscribe. Tell me what y'all's experiences were like. Maybe if any of y'all played on JP. If any of y'all played on episode 1 and 2 or on version 2 on Dreamcast on JP side. Like I said, I played a lot on JP side in most games throughout my life. So when I speak on these subject matters and stuff like that, I'm not just talking out my rear end. I've experienced this for years and years and years. I'm used to playing with different regions, with different peoples, different cultures, different understandings of different, societal norms of how you do things. So like I'm very well aware. I'm very interwoven into this. So when I speak on these things, I'm not just speaking out of, not understanding. No, I'm speaking fully understanding the differences and whatnot that pertain to these things. So, but at any rate, be sure to like, subscribe, y'all. I'll see you on the next one. Relic time. Like I said, if I get this GameCube running, well, I'm not really in a rush to do it, but eventually I will. I'll take some time out and I'll open it up. And if I need to run and grab some parts from a retro shop or something like that, then I will. But eventually we'll get it running because there's a lot of GameCube games I still want to play on stream too. So either way, that needs to happen at some point so we all can see the original thing, not a ROM download. Not the internet. No, this isn't a freaking emulator. No, this is the real freaking deal, the real copy, the real controller, the real memory card, the real physical game. None of the gimmicks. So y'all be sure to like, subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next one. Holla. Spikes content.